of poverty. And I'm happy to include us all in this event because normally we would have our events based in Seattle, but this allows all of us to gather. I'm here in California. Feel free to share in the chat where you're coming from so we can all get to know who's here with us today. And we really appreciate you joining us today. As stated earlier, we are on video, but please feel free to type your questions in the Q&A and we'll have time to respond at the end of our event. We're going to have an agenda that includes some introductions, some videos, a special guest, a musical performance, and an opportunity to learn more about how to be involved at the end. And now I have the pleasure to welcome our president, Carol Bogezi. So as a short introduction, Carol hails from Uganda, where she first became involved with Tusubira in 2010 as our Field Advisory Board Coordinator. She now resides in Seattle as a wildlife science researcher at the University of Washington. Recently, Carol received the Bullitt Environmental Leadership Award and was named among the top 40 influential women of Uganda. Please welcome Carol Bogezi.
Hello, everyone. Every year at this time in the spring, we try to meet for social, tell our friends about what we are doing. And this year, the same way, we are privileged to be holding this social again. This may be the largest we may host. Definitely will be the most geographically dispersed one that we'll be hosting. We are really excited about that. Although we miss seeing you in person this year, we'll still take the opportunity. We are still glad to be able to check in with you and to share with you. We'd like to thank all our friends who are here, our partners, our friends of our partners like Pangaea, like the people at Bellevue Church, who are all here with us today, and the individual friends, supporters, and donors, and friends of donors who are with us today. So I've been with Tusubira since 2010, before I came to the US. And when I came to the US and the board was leaving, they asked if I can take over, and I was glad to. I did not do it alone. I had the board, as we have it now, eventually joined me, and we have managed to steer Tusubira to, I think, really good heights. We still have greater heights to go, but we're in a good place with your support. I would like to and now I would like to share about what our program will have. We'll have some communication here from our board members, and then we'll have a communication from our partner in Uganda. He's unable to be live with us because of time difference, but he recorded a message which we'll be sharing with you, and will also be found on our website. The full videos will be there as well. So Tusubira has come for the last 6 years doing work in education, and I'm really proud because we've done all this work as a volunteer board. Board members will be introducing themselves, but I'll still take the pleasure to just mention their names and say how thankful I am. Max is our communications board member. Louisa is, thanks for being our MC as well, that's Max. Louisa is our secretary and monitoring and evaluation board member, and she's the host of this social webinar as well. Thank you, Louisa. We have Maggie, who is from the health sector. She's also just joined us recently. Welcome, Maggie. Joel is a financial person and treasurer who's been with us for a long time. And we have Hanit, who is our intern for development and fundraising. She's wonderful. We're so glad to have you all. Suzanne Phelan is a board member emeritus, also one of the founding board members. We are thankful for your continued advice to us. So I that's from me for now. I'm happy to have the board members go ahead and introduce themselves. Welcome everyone. Please feel at home, have a beverage of your choice, and enjoy the evening with us. Max?
Welcome. So I'm gonna have the pleasure to introduce our board members today, and I'll start with myself. I joined Tusubira's board, as I mentioned, back in 2015 while I was working in Uganda. Returning to the States, I have continued to serve as our communications lead. And I just deeply believe in the mission we have as an organization, funding great ideas made by local leaders. Instead of pushing our ideas, we trust and have a lot of faith in the people on the ground who've been working in these communities for a long time. And they're very well suited to deal with both the challenges of today and the ones we anticipate in the future tomorrow. I'll pass it on to Louisa.
Hi everyone, it's Louisa again. I joined Tusubira's board in 2016 while I was in grad school in New York. I joined through Max, who I knew through the University of Washington during our time in undergrad. He convinced me to join some of the board meetings and I've just never left. I am the secretary and I help a lot with the monitoring and evaluation tasks. I'm now working in the population health research field doing impact evaluations. And what we know from global studies is that education is perhaps the best investment you can make in a child's life to break poverty. However, right now, although we're still focused on funding and supporting the education of all of Ghana's students, we have to respond to the emergency needs of the community that have been amplified during this pandemic. I'm so grateful to have been able to support and watch our partners, CEP, in building Ghana Community High School and the vocational school. And I've been able to see the huge direct impact that even a small amount of money can have. It's humbling to watch the progress that CEP has made and the leadership that both Robert and Carol have shown in making this partnership a reality. Next up, we have Harneet.
Hello. Okay. Hi, I'm Harneet. I'm the fundraising and development intern for Tusubira. I got involved last year because of my friend Tammy, who was the previous intern. We were both involved with the Rotaract Club at the University of Washington, which is where we met Carol and Joel and learned about Tusubira and their efforts. I was inspired by their passion and commitment to changing lives and strengthening communities. So I'm so grateful to be part of this organization. And now I'm going to introduce Maggie.
Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm a women's health nurse, and I've been volunteering on the board for Tusubira since the fall of 2019. I have a special interest in the health of the students at Tusubira. Among some of the larger issues that we're addressing in regards to health are the prevention of teenage pregnancies to keep students in school, the prevention of domestic violence, and most recently making and distributing masks to the surrounding Ugandan communities to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And so next, I'll introduce Joel.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to know that we're connected virtually by Zoom, and I think there are I joined Tusubira's board in 2014. I'm married to Carol, and she told me a lot about Tusubira and the community work that they do. A new board, they invited me to join them, and so I've been working on treasury and fundraising and keeping the books. What makes me most proud of our work is that we're able to connect directly. We're able to connect people directly to community-led solutions and initiatives, and we're working with grassroots organizations that are having a real impact on the issues that so I'll hand it back to Max.
All right, thanks, Joel. So due to the time difference, we have an opportunity now to share a video from Robert, our president of CEP, Child Empowerment Program, one of our lead partners working on the ground in Uganda. While he won't be able to join us live, this video will give you an opportunity to hear from him and learn more about what we do.
Hello, my name is Kalu Roberti, the Executive Director of Child Empowerment Program, the organization that takes care of disadvantaged children in Uganda with a mission of empowering them to reach their full potential in life, to live happily and productively and enjoy their life. In 2017, with the consultation from our dear partners, Tusubira, we changed the course from our traditional scholarship program, where we supported individual students in various schools around, to a schools approach, where we presently support a school project. This was done to ensure massive enrollment of students. We decided to establish and manage Yana Community High School, a hybrid secondary and vocational high school that offers high quality secondary education and offers skills training. Presently, from an enrollment of 89 students at the start in 2017, we boast of 290 students. Remember, previously, we could support a maximum of 21 students, and that would be a tip of an iceberg, depending on the size, the magnitude of the need in the community. We have also offered tailoring skills to a total of 20 students, especially girls who had dropped out of school and never had the hopes of having an income generating activity other than the traditional subsistence farming. And now they are able to live, to earn a living and support their families. For this, we are so grateful, and we are ever grateful to our friends and partners, and the friends and partners of Tusubira, who have, out of their generosity, made this possible. You have rewritten the history of the community of Nawandende. However, despite all these achievements, we are still on the road towards self-sustenance of these projects. There are many things that we need in place that can lead us to self-sustenance. Our current needs range from decent classroom infrastructure, laboratory, computer, and library facilities, and to increase access to water. Our prayer and appeal at the moment is that we build capacity to achieve this, for our projects to be self-sustaining. Once again, I would like to say thank you. We are really humbled at the way your generosity has changed lives in Uganda. The coronavirus that causes COVID-19. In Uganda, as a national response, the government went ahead on the 18th of March 2020 to declare a national emergency. All convergence places were closed, including churches and schools, all education institutions. transport was limited. Getting permission was centrally from the district. This made life very hard, and later the worst was to come. That was the total lockdown. This has had very diverse effects. Food stocks have been depleted, especially because there has not been a lot of stored food in many families, and yet many people in Uganda and Eastern Uganda where we operate earn from hands to mouth. For the days that they have stayed under the lockdown, all the food stocks have been depleted. Access to health services was hampered because the COVID virus caused a scare, and many health workers abandoned the health centers because of lack of the protective gears. And then there was a shift of attention from the common diseases to the new pandemic that was now a scare. Comes a scare of domestic violence due to the shortages and scarcities, and anticipating the near future is that of rampant early pregnancy. SOP Uganda was not spared either. All our activities were paralyzed. And now we are making a shift from our regular activities to a response to the pandemic, as the community now looks at us as another savior in times of need like now. Our response, therefore, has been to sensitize the masses, to bring access to information regarding the coronavirus, and demystify the falsehoods that are all around the place in the media and on the internet. And we also embarked on the distribution of hand washing equipments, especially in the trading centers and many places of convergence. We also planned an emergency response to help emergency cases that would find it hard to access health centers in times of need with the transport. We also have a plan to offer food and medical relief to our disadvantaged families that have run out of stock. We target a minimum of 100 families. Our current appeal, therefore, is that our partners and friends help us intervene in the areas that reduce the risk of transmission of the COVID virus for a COVID-free community.
Next, we're going to shift the program. After hearing from Robert, our local partner in Uganda, we have a very special guest that is based here in Seattle. We're obviously socially distancing, so we're not together, but we would like to mention them and allow them to say hello to everybody. So I'll wait until our special guest has been added as a panelist. So yes, it is my distinct honor to introduce Fiona Mutesi. She's a young Ugandan lady who is a chess champion, and she's also known as the Queen of Katwe. Some of you may know that as the title of a film. Yes, that's right. Her story, in fact, her youth, at least just part of her story, because it's still very early in her life, was profiled in a 2016 Hollywood film called Queen of Katwe. And Fiona, I would love it if you can join and just say hello, and maybe I'll ask you a couple questions if that's okay.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I just actually read about Tusubira last week, and I was so excited to be here. So, yeah. How's everyone? How's the pandemic treating you all?
I think most everybody's on lockdown. I'm going to respond for everybody.
Yeah.
So nice of you to join us today. Fiona, in brief, I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about the community program that you were part of when you were a child that kind of changed your life in some ways. Could you tell us about it and a little bit about your life?
Yes. So I grew up with a single mother. I lost my father when I was 3 years old, and things became so hard in my life with my family. At some point, we became homeless because we could not afford food and also a home. So during that time, actually, I got to know that my brother was playing chess. So my brother took me to this chess program, and this is called Some Chess Academy. And I went there, and then I met my coach, he's called Coach Robert, and he gave me a young girl who was about 5 years to teach me the game. That's the why I learned the game. But the organization I started with, it does sponsor kids tuition staff. It does it does feeding programs, and also like a lot of stuff it does with the community, and also leadership skills, computer skills. So they do a lot of stuff there in the slums, in Kampala slums. So I've been actually they sponsored me for my school up to like my high school, and right now actually I was given an opportunity to come here at Northwest University in Kirkland for my university. But I've been so grateful. This is my 3rd year. I'm just not happy that I'm ending it like this, but I've been just so happy right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing a bit about your story. It's really amazing to see the community aspect, the community solution that was brought forward by Robert Katende to engage youth in chess and education and so on. I was just wondering if I could ask another question. What are your two-part question?
Yeah.
What are your future plans? And then second, what part does chess play in your life?
So I don't know. I just have like a broad view about like my plans for the future. I actually I'm doing right now business management and finance. So I like doing math a lot. So I think I'm gonna be like in finance. I just applied right now in Microsoft for my internship. I hope that goes well. But I plan like after my 4 years, I'm going for grad school, and then I'll go back home, and I want to start a business there, or I'll join like different businesses. But I just want to start. Mostly I'm so comfortable and like I'm interested in makeup stuff and fashion stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And also I've been like joining a lot of like connecting with a lot of organizations to help, like, because I really like kids, and I want to improve people's like the society always. So I've been like joining different organizations to work with them and to see how like the community can improve on healthy stuff, and also like feeding programs, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm planning right now. That it's gonna be, actually I'm not like pretty sure how it's gonna be, but I think my future is gonna be like, it's still like this. But anyway, I don't remember the other question you asked me.
I wondered what does chess play? What aspect does it play in your life now? Do you still play? Is it do you have time for that, given all your studies and other things you're doing?
I last played last year because I had to represent Uganda for the Olympiad. And since that, I was so it affected me so much, because you know the school here is very different. Once you miss, like you have missed it, and like it just affects your participation. So since then, I haven't been playing. I just gave myself like these 2 years to finish, and then I'll go back. but it's still like, it's a big part of my life because I'll say like most of the people connect with me, they are through shares. It's always through shares. And also like I've just been given like an opportunity from another school for my graduate scholarship.
Wow.
But it's because of shares also. And even home, I just got like this big opportunity to work with the American embassy into like internship stuff, but it's because they have known me through shares. So it's still like a big part of my life. Even right now, I feel like even the job, the people they connect me through shares. Like that's the way I've been like known. So yeah.
Great. Well, Fiona, thank you so much for joining us and saying hello to our attendees today.
Yeah.
You surely shine at chess, and I can tell that you also shine at a number of other things. Your academics, your fashion, and your overall charisma. We look forward to seeing where you go in life. And it's just really a privilege to meet you and to hear more about your story and where you're headed, because your story is still being written and it's really inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. To all of our attendees, I would just invite you, in this time of COVID, we can't travel to Uganda, but if you want some images of kind of what it's like to grow up in Uganda, some of the challenges in particular that Fiona faced in her youth, growing up in a single parent household, watch Queen of Katwe. It's really inspiring. I'm sure you will be motivated and see that indeed investing in youth and community development initiatives is truly something that we have a really high return on investment. So thanks. I'll pass it back to Max.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Fiona, for sharing that. It's an inspiration for all of us. And now we want to have a chance, now that we've learned a little bit about what goes on in Uganda for so many youth, we want to have a chance to share what we do as Tusubira to try to make our dent in these bigger issues. So while Carol's taking care of the baby, she's here on video to share some more information.
We have had great success in scaling up secondary education in rural eastern Uganda. Few non-profit organizations our size are able to make the impact that we are doing in Jinja and Kamuli districts. With the support of our friends and donors, and with the effective partnerships formed with local-based organizations in eastern Uganda, we have been able to deliver education and community services since 2011. This was highlighted with the founding of Yana Community High School in 2017 and establishing Yana Vocational Center in 2018. Our mission is to support and empower communities to address issues that perpetuate poverty through providing education and community development programs. Our target population is the youth and women. Uganda has a young population, so empowering the youth strengthens the community. Women are a strong pillar in rural communities. They are responsible for day-to-day running of families, and raising the children is squarely upon their shoulders. Therefore, empowering women not only develops the community, but also makes education and youth programs more effective. We support the youth in two main ways: through formal secondary education and through vocational training. We also organize seminars on reproductive health and other issues that the youth face as they grow up. This vocational center was constructed with funds raised by UR donors at the Give Big Seattle campaign in 2018. It now hosts 2 vocational courses, tailoring and hairdressing, which have been facilitated by SEP's other partner Pangaea Giving and the community. We are in partnership with Women and Orphans Community Action Plan in Jinja,
where we help support some of their women livelihood projects. We fund for extracurricular activities so that the youth and students can enjoy attending school and reduce the rates of absenteeism through engaging activities such as sports and drama. We help girls maintain their school attendance by providing reusable sanitary products. These products were generously donated by our friends at Days for Girls and Bellevue Christian Reformed Church. And now, with the COVID-19 global pandemic, we are not shying away from facing these new challenges that our communities and partners are facing. The lockdown is affecting the communities in unique negative ways, including lack of medical care for common ailments such as malaria and conditions such as childbirth, which are now contributing to deaths in the communities. There is lack of food because the pandemic comes right after locusts had decimated crops in eastern Uganda. In order to help, our partners are using the vocational centers sewing machines to make masks to supply free of charge to local health centers so that the medical personnel can be there to care for the community members. Times are hard, we know, but this global pandemic clearly illustrates how we are all in this storm together and how we can all support each other in the most meaningful ways. We therefore invite you once again to support us as you can. We are seeking to double our fundraising efforts this year in order to continue funding education and also support the community through this global health crisis. We are specifically raising money for operations to continue to pay teachers' salaries even during this time, so that when school resumes, the teachers will be there for the students. Our villages do not have capacity for online learning yet. Therefore, we want to support buying enough textbooks so that students can be able to study on their own at home, so as to catch up on lost time during the pandemic lockdown. Finally, we want to help fund our partners' efforts to provide COVID support through outreach and distributing masks and food to their community. Thank you so much for standing with us. We hope that you continue to support us this year and in the years to come. Thank you.
Okay, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Now it is my pleasure to introduce someone. We will be listening to a musical performance about fighting against impossible odds, sung by Seattle opera performer and Pacific Lutheran University voice faculty. He also happens to be my dad, Barry Johnson.
We're gonna start over. I was muted. It's not the first time. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for these. That one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone also for your time and your support today. I'm going to pass it over now to Harneet and Carol for the final call to action tonight.
Hello, everyone. It's me again, Harneet the intern. I wanted to share a little bit more about myself. I recently started a job, and before I could complete my training, we were hit with this pandemic. I effectively went from having a projected income to having no income. Now I'm fortunate enough to be able to live with my parents and not have to worry about rent and other certain expenses. So I've decided to take the money that I would have spent anyways going to and from work and donate it. I know $25 doesn't sound like a lot, but as someone with no income for the unforeseeable future, I'm giving what I can. Even small donations can make a large impact, and it is a shared group effort. It is also important to note that all of the board members donate to offset expenses so that 100% of your contribution makes an impact on our mission. I hope I've inspired you all to not only recognize that you have the power to change things, but to know that you can actively make a difference if you decide to. If you can't donate at this time, there are other ways you can be involved. You can create a fundraising page on the Give Big Tusubira page and share that with your friends and family. I created a fundraising goal of raising $400 of our $10,000 goal, and I'm sharing that page with my friends and family. This is an easy way to spread the word about Tusubira's efforts, and I hope I've inspired you all to become involved in your community.
Thank you, Harneet. Everyone, welcome to our call for action. I did definitely prepare something to say, but I'm still starstruck. Fiona and then Barry, I'm so thrilled to be able to listen to both of you. Thank you, Barry, for warming our souls with the music, and Fiona for inspiring us. Fiona, I want to let you know that my loving mother-in-law gave Queen of Katwe as a gift, the movie as a gift to everyone she knew for like 2 years in a row. So we really love you in our family. And just to make a pitch for myself, in addition to community development and environment, I also love makeup, so we should really connect. Thank you, Lambert, for introducing us. We really appreciate your friendship and all your connections. And now to the call for action. All of us make our commitments to organizations that we support. And ours in our family, Joel and I usually give $1,000 to Tusubira at around this time to be matched. This year, things are a little harder. I'm still looking for employment and we have a new baby, but we'll still be able to make a contribution this year. My personal contribution though, because of the pandemic, I've not been going out for coffees and having lunches and all that happy hour money. So while I'm not swimming in the door, I know that I have a bunch of change that I can be able to contribute today towards Give Big campaign as a person, in addition to what our family contribution will be. I'll be contributing $150 today, and I invite you to contribute whatever is comfortable for you and whatever is meaningful. Some people are having a lot of change, but some people are really going through hard times, and not everyone has to give money in order to show support. Ways to contribute: you can volunteer with us as a board member or a board volunteer or a board intern. We need lots of people in technology, fundraising, just to advise us. So you can volunteer your time, you can volunteer your talent. Thank you, Barry. You can volunteer, graphic design or anything else in terms of talent. You can also connect us to other people. Now that you've enjoyed our social and all the time follow us, you can tell other people who are interested in community development and education in East Africa. So connections is another way of supporting us. And then of course with your resources, we appreciate that. You can give on Tuesday and Wednesday for Give Big Washington. It's a platform that sort of continues to market other organizations, and then you can give through it. It's a big fundraiser. It's usually a highlight of the season, and we encourage you to go there. That's not the only opportunity to give. You can also give through our website. You just go to www.tusubira.org. You can always donate there. You can always give in any other way you're comfortable with, and with all those other options of giving. You could also do your own fundraiser website like Hanit did. It all works well, but our website and Give Big are definitely two of the ones that we're having today. Yes, so that's my call to action. I'm so glad that all of you are here with us today, and we look forward to keeping connected with you. Max is going to take us through a Q&A. If anyone wants to stay and ask some questions, we are still going to be here, the board and any friends who are still hanging out with us this evening. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you so much, and we really love to serve with Tusubira. Over to you, Max.
So I want to give everyone a chance to, welcome to stay if you have any questions, and give a chance, a minute for anyone who does not have any questions. If you're free to leave. We will respond to questions in the Q&A and the chat as they arrive. And we have another special guest.
We have a special guest here. Been talking about the baby. It would be unfair if she doesn't come to say hello. Here is Chirabo, meaning gift.
Can you wave?
Wave, say hi.
Well, kisses.
Give kisses. Yeah. Hey. Kisses, 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 kisses. Oh no, gentle.
I want to share one announcement. We've already received one donation in this event, so I want to
thank you.
Thank you. Say hi to Say hi to our friends.
So let's see. I don't know if we have any questions, but thank you all for your greetings.
It looks like we have a raised hand. I'm gonna figure out. Leah.
Oh, there. Okay, great. Hi.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, you guys. It's wonderful to see you. To see you all. I'm so impressed with what you're doing. I mean, I've known about it for a little while now, but to do it in these hard times is especially impressive. You said your goal is $10,000 this year, which seems like a big goal in such a year when it can be hard to raise money. How much did you raise last year?
In Give Big or total?
So the 10,000, is that your total for the year or Give Big?
That's for our Give Big campaign.
Okay.
That's our target for the Give
How
Big.
did it go last year? Is that about the same as last year?
Yeah, I think, I don't have the exact figures in mind.
6,000
about?
on the day.
6,000?
Mhm.
6,000 on the day.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's a big that's a big leap forward in a year when, I don't know, a lot of people who
Yeah.
normally might have a harder time this year. But it sounds like the needs are even greater in Uganda now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good question. I don't know. It's not because of the question that she's crying. Yeah, the need is huge, both because of the normal operational funds to keep the school going, keep staff paid, and so on, and then all of the emergency tasks that are taking on now. Fortunately, our partner, our informal partner, Pangea, who's supporting supporting child empowerment program as well, has allowed their grant to be reallocated towards some of the more pressing needs, particularly around the response to COVID. So that's helpful in that it's not like that we need to raise double the funds, but we're still taking a big swing, especially because we don't have the ability to host an in-person event this year. So yeah.
Right. No, I applaud you for doing that. You're brave in many respects. So obviously, COVID has had a huge impact in Uganda already, just because of other things like then malaria medications and women's health and obstetrical health and losing babies and domestic violence. There's a whole host of things. But has the virus itself gotten to Uganda? Is that known?
It's a great question.
It has.
It has, yeah. It's the figures from a lot of African countries are quite low. I think the highest caseload is found in Nigeria and South Africa, I believe. Uganda does not have a high caseload, the testing capability, and then the between the limited capability and then the challenge to maintain social distance and some of the other restrictions that are in place, I think people are really scared about it becoming this big outbreak there that could be much worse than what we even see here. So far, been that bad, but I think the restrictions may be working very well, but they're also having a lot of these knock-on effects of increasing food insecurity and making it more difficult for people to get to the hospital when they need it for other cases. So a panelist, Robert, my friend Robert from Congo, mentioned that 55 cases in Uganda 2 days ago, just 55.
Yeah.
And
as Joel mentioned, a lot of the impacts on the community aren't directly health effects from COVID, but they're more indirect economic effects from schools being shut down, work being shut down, public transportation is gone. We heard from Robert at CEP that a lot of the medical workers at local clinics have basically abandoned their posts because there's no protective equipment or transportation to get there. So we're really having to respond to, malaria cases and other medical emergencies that aren't COVID, as well as just communities not having enough food on hand.
Right, right. I'm glad you're there.
Are there any other questions right now? You can raise your hand or you can chat.
Carol would like to say something.
Yeah, sorry, the baby guest decided to cause a havoc during, Leah, I just wanted to add that one of our rationales also for the 10,000 is half of that would specifically go towards the COVID response. And so we're also looking at, if we can make some, applications to foundations and people who are specifically giving towards COVID support. So that's why we almost doubled our ask this year. And even when it seems tricky, it's because we still can't compromise using the resources for operations and education, but we really would like to be able to support in a major way the COVID response. So yeah, we are also looking at individuals and foundations, targeting COVID response, see if that could help us raise to the 10,000 for the spring fundraising.
Wonderful, good.
Can't wait to see you, Leah.
Too long. Look at that beautiful little girl. Oh,
she's becoming really, really like independent and wants her way. And
it's a challenging time to be a young family.
It is. We have a lot of family time though, which is one kind of nice thing about it.
Yeah, that is good. That's good.
Yeah. Great.
We still have quite a few people on. If anybody has questions, feel free to type them in the chat or in the Q&A directly.
I have one other question. This is more personal, but it sort of says something about how things are in Uganda. Did your family, family members ever get back to Uganda? Because they left here in Seattle and then they were not able to, the border was closed. No one's let in. Are they still?
Yeah, they haven't gone back to Uganda yet. They are still in Framingham in the Boston area. And no flights, the borders are still not open. They are not like on the verge of expiring, like the time they were given. So they're not breaking any of those laws because you never know what happens with immigration here. So they are still legal, but they can't wait to get back home. They long to go home. So we encourage them to keep emailing the ambassador to send a flight. But, if maybe the ambassadors around the world can say, all right, can Ugandans start coming home? Maybe it will shorten the time they've closed the borders to Ugandans. I don't know if they're on today, but thanks for asking. I will be letting them know that you asked them. And to all other people who are having family members scattered.
Are all the borders shut? I mean, there's no planes flying in. Are the borders shut to like Rwanda, to all the neighboring countries? Or is everything just locked up?
Yes, they were open to trucks and truck drivers, because we are a landlocked country, to come in and bring produce. But the last couple of days I've been reading about trying to stop that because most of the new tests are usually truck drivers. But no flights. Humanitarian UN flights are coming in, and I think internal flights are allowed. We don't have a lot of internal flights. Not a lot of Ugandans fly around. Not again. But they are closed, and people just stay put, and it's hard because the curfew as well. So even in Uganda, it's almost like here we have some leeway, but then there is the curfew, and sometimes the very people supposed to protect are beating people who are going to buy food. And things can get better so that they can get back to living, and especially just normal sustenance of every day. People don't have fridges or pantries or stuff, so they go to the market every day, buy some food. So it's being a hard time for most of the Ugandans.
Are crops being planted?
For people who live in the rural areas, I think my brother lives on the farm, and he told me it's raining right now, so some new passion fruits. So I think the ones who are living in rural areas, because then they don't have to move far, they are being able to go about some of their cropping business. On the eastern side, although where the locusts are, they've already been having a hard time with crops. So the situation there is slightly different.
Yeah.
I almost feel like some of the people in the rural areas are having better resilience than the people in the slums and suburban areas around Kampala, like ordinary countries, and they don't have gardens either. They are staying in small, crowded places. So, keep you updated.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for this.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for joining, Leah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leah.
Are there any other questions?
I think Mercy Carol just put in the chat. I don't know if Max, you want to read that out? Because you're the MC.
Yeah, no, I just want to thank Carol for that donation. It's incredibly kind, especially knowing that we're all struggling right now. But to share even just a small thing goes a long way, especially in Uganda. So it's really appreciated.
Great. Well, it's 5 p.m. on the Pacific Coast. If there are any more questions in the upcoming days, go to info@tusubira.org. You can go to our website, tusubira.org. Just remember how to spell Tusubira. You'll find us.
We pop up fast when people type in Tusubira.
Yes.
So.
That's
We also have our Facebook and our Instagram if that's preferable for you.
Yeah.
And you're always welcome to try to reach out to us personally if you know us as well.
And if you're able, please give big anytime between now and Wednesday, the 6th.
Great.
Give bigwashington.org.
Yeah. Should we say thank you, everyone? Stay safe, stay well, enjoy indoors and some outdoors if you're able to. And thank you for joining us in today's social.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Say
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you.
Give kisses.